Well, Google Omni is here. I mean, at least I think it's here. As you're watching this video, I'm actually there. Yeah, as this video goes up, I'm literally in the crowd at Google I/O watching the presentation. But I did get early access to Omni, so, well, let's dive in and go beyond the keynote. Kicking off, there likely is a ton of stuff to go over coming out of I/O, and I will be back later on this week for a roundup on all of that. In the meantime, I have had a few days to play around with Google's new Omni video. I hesitate to call it a video generator. It is really interesting. Now, I will say off the bat, this is not a Seedance killer. I know a lot of you ho-hum the initial leaks that we saw, not Will Smith eating spaghetti and our math professor doing math stuff on a chalkboard. And of course, there were plenty of versus Seedance comparisons. I even made one myself, but oddly, I don't think that this is what Omni's strength is, at least for right now. Because what Omni really is, well, it's Nano Banana for video, and that's bigger than you might think. Now, as a quick note, as often happens when I get early releases of stuff like this from Google, I am limited to using it in Gemini. So there are a lot of other feature sets that we're probably going to see on, Google Flow or via the API that I don't have access to yet. So at baseline, like essentially vanilla Omni is generating 10-second clips. So, we've gained 2 seconds at 720, and it's only generating at 916 and 16:9. So again, I'm sure that will expand as time goes on. So kicking off with a few tests on the text to video side, our current channel benchmark, a man in a blue business suit jaywalking runs away from the cops who are trying to give him a ticket. One roll, no cherry picking here.
Hold on a minute, sir. I'm in a hurry. I really have to go. Hey, stop right there.
So yeah, I mean, more or less what I was expecting. In a post-Seedance 2.0 world, obviously this isn't like extremely mind-blowing. It very much does come off very VOE. And look, I'm not going to harp on it too much. You guys can all see like the issues that we're having here. Our guy, what it is with the jaywalking prompt is that they're never jaywalking. They're always like actually just legitimately crossing the street. I do like the fact that the one-way sign is actually both ways. That could be wrong, or it actually just could be New York City trying to give you a ticket. But again, I don't think that that is what the strength of the Omni model is. But again, we're just going to run through a few more quick text-to-video tests. Again, more text. Testing text, this time with my ode to The Shining. I feel you on that, AI generated me. Yes, there is an avatar Cameo type feature here as well. We'll take a look at that in a little bit. I mean, overall for text to video and an avatar, not too shabby. What I was really testing here was, of course, text, and it did do a pretty good job with that. No misspellings or garbled characters or anything. I mean, a little bit as, the keys are hammering against the paper there, it just kind of like fades in. But I mean, also I'm not going to dock points on that. In some ways, I think the use case for text to video with Omni is really, well, it resides in the omniness of it all. Google has sort of been, poking at the messaging that where this is going to really excel is by parsing through a lot of context and creating like sort of explainer type videos. For example,
video generation is no longer one and done. Google's Omni model introduces true multi-turn editing. It remembers context to remix styles and elements instantly.
So overall, I mean, not terrible. 10 seconds is a little short to explain such a big concept, but for the most part, I think it did a pretty solid job. It does have a very like VO-esque look to it, but in terms of actually generating visuals that matched and were appropriate to what he was explaining, I think it's all pretty solid. I also want that keyboard. That keyboard looks really cool. I have the cheap soft key one. I kind of want a clicky one again. So as a teaser to like editing and restyling, and I will admit I'm going to start off with a bit of a softball here. Don't worry, we're going to get weirder later on. But I ended up having it do that video again and just, again, softball, just said, hey, can you make that into a claymation style?
Video generation is no longer one and done. Google's Omni model introduces true multi-turn editing. It remembers context to remix styles and elements instantly.
So overall, I mean, not too bad. Again, this is a pretty easy task for a lot of these video models, but I mean, I am impressed with some of the stylistic choices that it made in terms of this translation. Yeah, I mean, you know, overall pretty cool. So I thought it would be interesting to see if we could get beyond 10 seconds. So I just asked if we could extend this video another 10 seconds to explain how Omni will be useful to video editors and filmmakers.
For video editors, this means making precise adjustments without altering the rest of the scene. Filmmakers can instantly iterate on lighting and mood without process from concept to final cut.
So moving on to the more interesting stuff, image to video and, well, video editing. Yeah, just like random pretty lady sitting in a field. I wanted to test creativity here, so I gave it the prompt. The camera slowly dollies in and the woman smiles and introduces herself. This is what we got.
Hello, I am Red Hair Woman. Welcome to my lavender field.
So look, points to following direction, and the dolly shot is very nice, maybe not so much for creative naming. That said, we do have a character named Flamethrower Girl here. Speaking of her, we will see her in just a little bit. So testing out something with a little more intentionality here. This is an image that we ran a lot in VO3. This is our period piece, romantic film, star-crossed lovers.
These last few days
Have felt like forever.
I know we only have 10 seconds, but I love you.
You know, those two crazy kids, they really do warm my heart. You know, I could extend that video, give them longer than 10 seconds. The other thing that I noticed is a bit of an old VO trick, and it's something that we actually ended up using to our advantage. But you'll notice that 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 frames in, our shot changes. And I think that this is where the Omni model is essentially taking over. So from here on out, we're basically in Omni land, and I think that it's just using this first frame essentially as a reference. So this isn't doing true like first frame to last frame or like first frame video generation. Overall, in terms of image to video, I mean, it is kind of more or less where you expect it to be. You know, if you got decent results in VO3, you're going to get slightly better results here. If you're doing the thing where you're packing in crazy storyboards, as we did in yesterday's video with Seedance 2.0, I mean, the results there are really good. The results in the Omni model, so yeah, if you're trying to do outputs like that in the Omni model, you know, clearly this is not the tool for that job. And that's okay because, well, I mean, we have Seedance 2.0 at home. But where I think things start to get really interesting is in the, well, the Nano Banana-ness of the Omni model and the edit aspect, because that's where I think that things are going to eventually end up becoming very powerful. For example, I used this shot in yesterday's video, Flamethrower Girl taking a break from her marathon running session, obviously staying hydrated. And that got me thinking, well, who doesn't love a big old glass of milk in a steamy jungle? I mean, as a video composite edit, that looks really good. I mean, as far as the idea of drinking room temperature milk in a balmy rainforest, I mean, well, that sounds disgusting, but it looks good. Another interesting idea that I've tested and seems to be working pretty well is to use it for fixing issues. For example, you know, like in Kling 3.0's Omni model, which is a model, I mean, I still really like that model, but it does have an issue, particularly after you hit like the 8-second mark, where you tend to get a lot of lip sync drift. For example, let's check this clip out.
Are you sure we should go in? This place is crawling with traps.
My cardio is really good, and I can outrun anything.
So what we can do is just upload the original scene and give it a prompt like recreate this scene, focus on a close-up of the woman's face, run it.
My cardio is really good, and I can outrun anything.
And as we can see here too, it is completely in sync. If you just throw your new clip on top of your old clip, there's no drift or anything. Everything lines up. So problem solved. Now for your super fast moving, high cut, super kung fu Seedance outputs, yes, you can change the camera angles and, you know, in Omni as well. Somewhat mixed results. For example, just taking the output that we're looking at here and changing it out to an overhead crane shot. to be honest, I mean, it's actually not like that terrible. All of our action beats are in there and the background location is staying very coherent. It does give up like halfway through the generation, but still, I think that if you need like quick coverage in some action beat, I mean, I think this would work really well for insert shots. But I'll say this is where I think things get really interesting. And I am going to say off the bat, this did not work perfectly, but taking our Twin Peaks coded FBI agent in a Pacific Northwest diner shot that we ran in Happy Horse. Take a look at the original here.
This is a damn fine cup of joe. But how's the pie?
It's really good. It's an old recipe from the log lady who got it from the owls.
Now, here is where things get really interesting and a little surreal, but it is Twin Peaks, so I guess it kind of makes sense. I gave it the prompt to recreate this scene, but do it from the waitress's perspective. And again, this does not work, but it also kind of does.
This is a damn fine cup of coffee.
So this is a pretty fascinating output. Granted, there are some issues. We did get cut off because of the 10-second limitation. And then obviously, I think I kind of broke Omni's brain, considering that in the original clip, our waitress is standing in the background with back to camera. So its solve here was essentially to like change the spatial orientation of the location and then put, her in front of the FBI agent. It's an interesting problem solve, but what I think is, again, impressive is that it A, figured out a solution to this, and B, kept the stylistic consistency of the input video. Pretty interesting. I wanted to keep playing around with the idea, so I ended up giving it this clip that we generated when Runway's Gen 4.5 first came out. Clearly I watched The Revenant recently. So with kind of a stupid prompt, it was just recreate this video, but this time the camera focuses solely on the bear, like the bear's the main character. Got to admit, kind of do want to put a 10-second extension on this to showcase our heroic bear fighting off that stinky human. Finally trying out an experiment with an entire location change. I ended up grabbing this video, which oddly was used for the Happy Horse video, but was actually generated up in Kling. I ended up using elements of this for the thumbnail there. And then just running it through the Omni model and saying, change the location to a jungle rainforest. So overall, I mean, I think that Omni is off to a very promising start. It is definitely not your everything model. Currently, I call it, like VO 3.5-ish with the very beginning stages of Nano Banana, but video. So like Banana After Effects. Look, I know it's not perfect, but if you look at first generation Nano Banana, I mean, it wasn't that great either. It took a few months before we got Nano Banana Pro, and that is what ended up becoming essentially an industry standard. Now, I do want to note that there is also an avatar or Cameo mode on here. I haven't gotten a ton of time to play with this one, but it works similar to Sora 2's Cameo function when Sora 2 was still around, in that you use your phone to essentially scan your face in, and then you can @ yourself in prompts. I haven't had a ton of time to play around with this one, but I will dig into it more in a follow-up. Speaking of which, there are probably a ton of other interesting things that are being announced at I/O right now. So I'll be back later on this week with some more coverage. I will try to get some interviews out of the Google team. If you've got questions, please leave them in the comments down below and I'll corner whoever I can to ask. In the meantime, as always, I thank you for watching. My name is Tim.